Let's be real for a minute here. I think GameStop and AMC are going to have a big move and it's going to be up. I don't think it's going to be down. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice, but let's talk about some price targets. First things first, we're on the weekly time frame. It's a very macro perspective. GameStop has tested this support since April and March of 2020 and then tested it again April of 2024. And now we have broken below it, but we have not broken down. Reason being, because the fundamentals are too good to break down any lower. We also got a weekly golden cross, which is a cross to the upside with the 50 and the 200 moving average. Now, what I do want to state is that if I drag the fib, I want to give you guys some price targets and levels that I think GameStop is going to head to. Notice how this perfectly on the macro perspective since 2021 January perfectly maps out GameStop's levels. This mapped out a move right up to about $36, and you can see this wick right here took us right to that level, right to that range. Now, where do I think GameStop is going to go and how high can it go? Well, from where we're trading at right now, right around $22.35 on its base. The next fib level, which we already hit, I think will easily get blown by. And the following one is about a 135% gain, all the way up to about $52.60. This also has acted as several resistance zones in the past. Now, as high as this fib reaches is about a 2,000% gain on GameStop, trading at $480, which I also believe is possible. I'm going to explain some things to you. Let's do the same thing with AMC and take a look at where AMC's price targets would lead. Now, several times $7 has come up on AMC, multiple scenarios, and that also just happens to bring you to this descending resistance trend line since back in January of 2021 that tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times, which is this blue trend line that I'm talking about right here. This would bring you right to that $7 region, which would also be right around a 130 to 140% gain. Okay, that first fib level GameStop would reach at $52.60 is the ideal scenario of AMC hitting $7. That is what I believe. Is that going to be the top for both of them? That is not what I believe. Now, if AMC were to reach its first fib level, it would be about a 3,200% gain, which would be all the way at about $95 a share. First of all, do I think it's possible? I'm just going to state right now, yes. There is another level that always comes to mind, and it's between $12 and $14. But let's take a look at something that tracks AMC, and it's Ethereum Classic really quick. This is all going to tie in together. You grab the fib, and we check the levels for Ethereum Classic as well. Now, what's interesting about Ethereum Classic is from where we're trading at right now to that next fib level brings you to the same sort of setup as if AMC were to hit $7 and GameStop were to hit $52.60. This would bring you to about $52.50 with about a 140% gain. So they all map out very, very identical scenarios. Now, if Ethereum Classic ran to the top of its fib level, that would also be the same as GameStop running to the top of its fib level around 3,300%. Now, there are or not GameStop, but AMC running to its first level, which is also not coincidental, right? So you have AMC running to $95 would be just as equal as Ethereum Classic running to 723. Now keep in mind that a lot of coins have had that their alt season, sort of XRP, right? If I showed you XRP's chart, it would look similar to Ethereum Classic in this sense, right? But XRP this cycle did something like this, right? And now it's basing. This would be what XRP looks like. So I also think there are signs telling us that we are in a somewhat earlier altcoin season. We'll talk a little bit about that. But ultimately you see the similarities, right? You see the similarities between the price differences. And even if you grab Ethereum, which correlates heavily to GameStop, and you map out its levels here, let's actually grab the low, map out its levels. You see we recently got rejected, but take a look at this, right? The last time Ethereum and GameStop were tracking each other and always have been tracking each other. June, May, June. Now, what I mean by that is because GameStop has been trading in this flat sort of setup since June, but instead Ethereum has had its major move higher. So is GameStop going to follow? Well, what's interesting is you take this move in June and you grab it all the way to about where we're trading at right now, about 100% gain. And we'll see that GameStop did not have that move, right? GameStop did not have that move at all, but it does take you to this resistance level right here on the chart. Okay, the point being is there are several signs showing that we will see upside. Now, I didn't state that I don't think Ethereum is going to stop there. This is where it gets interesting. I've had the price target of 5,800 for several videos. I've given it to you, and that's about a 140% gain. The same thing, just like we talked about, to that fib level, 140% gain. I think at minimum, GameStop in the very short term is going to hit about $53. It is going to come up to that fib level. As far as AMC goes, that equivalent would be about $7. Now, if GameStop and if altcoins see a super cycle, if meme stocks see a super squeeze, then we see that top fib level, and we see the top fib level for Ethereum Classic, and then we see that first fib level, the 236 on AMC at about $95. The likelihood of AMC getting to the top of its fib channel would be obscene. That would be a 58,000% gain. And if that were to happen, congrats to every AMC shareholder, including myself. On top of that, Sundial has been building its move, has been having its move. Forget about Ethereum Classic for a second. Up another 7.3% today. This is also one we've already been prepped for in the Discord. Keep an eye on some levels here, but that's not really much to talk about. The point being is if you take a look at AMC's chart right here, it's been flat and it has not followed its move, but it does, and it normally does, right? This is part of the basket that trades AMC, Sundial. All of these baskets trade alike. Same with COS, BlackBerry, right? A lot of them are having their move while AMC and GameStop is stagnant. This is a clear as day loading period, and it's not just us retail that are loading the stock. It is institutions loading at all-time highs. So these are just some things that I wanted to cover for today's video. I just wanted to prep you that it's very likely, and I also believe that's fair value, somewhere up near that $52 level. It's very likely we hit that in the near future. Will we squeeze from there? Probably, because we will likely have a lot of gamma pressure that is built on the stock. SPY is green today. It actually broke above 645, came down, retested it, and I'm on the one hour chart right now. We got PCE that came out today. This is clearly on its move up to 652.65 in my personal opinion on the SPY. The last time we called out a level like this, I believe we broke 638, and I said if we break that, we're going to 645, which was a clear as day, pretty easy gain. Right now, it does look like we're going to 652.65. Now, I also want to note with the SPY being as green as it is, I believe it's giving the green light for Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin has not been moving to green just yet. I think this is giving the green light, and Bitcoin is in a consolidation period before a big move up, one last move up, and that will take you up to that $131,000 level, which will also be very good for altcoins. Now, U.S. Department of Commerce says we are cementing our role as the blockchain capital of the world, and U.S. Department of Commerce partnered with Chainlink to bring government macroeconomic data on chain. Chainlink and Solana are ones that I have talked about from a good friend of mine that are very good coins to hold in my personal opinion. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do believe Chainlink will at least double, possibly this cycle, or triple. Nvidia, let's talk about it very briefly. They reported 46.7 billion in revenue, higher than expectations, but then they said that they really had no sales in China, and then they also said that only one buyer represented like 20-something% of their sales, and then they approved an additional $60 billion share buyback. This could be one of the scenarios where they're kind of spoofing their earnings a little bit, and the chart is playing out something a little bit interesting to say the least. But we did get a test on this level at 172.20, so whoever bought millions in those 174 puts clearly knew the price that it was going to get to. But overall, Nvidia did not get to where I wanted it to get to, but I still think the chart is kind of ugly, and I think at some point we're going to fall lower, and at that point is likely when the SPY shows weakness following this 652.65 level, possibly coming into those rate cuts. Ultimately, that is the macro picture. I want to give a couple stocks. This is up 8.5%. VNet, it has a 5.23 day to cover. This is a short squeeze play that I'm giving you, and it's building more and more momentum. I am watching for this zone for a gap fill all the way up to $15, so 14 to 15 bucks. There are some sell zones on the way. Also keep an eye on ANY, up another 7%. I want you to keep a side eye on this play. I don't think it's ready just yet, but it could be ready very, very soon. Follow me on X if you guys aren't yet. And also, I am going to be opening a store on WAP right now. This will take you into the Discord server. If you guys did not have LaunchPass or weren't signed up in LaunchPass, you can now join the Discord through WAP. So make sure to press that top link in the description. I will also likely have other products going up on there as well. That is a top link in the description, guys. Make sure to join the trading group, talk stocks and crypto, post your gains, post your losses, and have a ton of alerts in there. If you want a custom indicator, my custom indicator that you can use on TradingView, this is pattern detection that you can add to your charts. It is very, very useful in my personal opinion, and you can check the other links in the description of the video as well. But overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. I'm trying to give you guys what you actually want on this channel, and most of the video was now GameStop and AMC, and there are some other requests I will get to as well. So make sure to press that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment down below. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.